Unlike the earlier Platonic dialogues, in the Republic, Socrates actually presents a theory. And he begins by presenting a little bit of an argument. He says, when we're looking at something like the virtue of justice, justice is really the same whether we're talking about an individual person or we're talking about the entire state, the entire society. So then he concludes that thus, he wants to begin the discussion of justice by defining the ideal, the just state. Because in that way he will be defining what the concept of justice is, and then when he's defined what it is for the state, he'll be able to look at the individual, the person. So when you've decided what it is, what's just, what is the just way for the state to behave, what makes the state a good, a just state, we'll be able to turn around what makes a person a moral person or a just person. And in Book 4, which is where we're about to kind of jump into, he begins to summarize that. It's all throughout Book 2 and Book 3. They start, he and his interlocutors, the people that he's talking to, the people he's having this discussion with, define what this ideal state would look like, what the perfect state would look like. And in Book 4, he starts to summarize what this just state, what justice is for the state. And then he renews the analogy between the state and the individual that we mentioned that he started above. Then he goes on to define how, in what way the individual is like the state, right? Because if justice is going to be the same thing and justice in the state is something, they have to be set up in the same way, and it's kind of hard to see. I mean, he starts out saying, the state, society is just, like a large person, a collection of persons, so justice, should be the same in both of them. But he has to take the analogy, he has to explain how they really are. The analogy that is comparing one to the other is really fair, that they really are similar. And finally, he goes on to explain what justice for the individual is, what the moral person, the good person, looks like.